The American dream is alive and well to anybody who believes in it, and this show really encompasses that belief, not just from where we are, but all across the country through our hosts, through those who are shooting the production, our editors, our directors. It is a collective group of like-minded people that are centered around positive media about dreaming big, overcoming adversity, and the fact that there is still an American dream. It's a mindset.
All right, welcome to the American Dream TV, where dreams become a reality. I'm your Colorado Springs host, Clint Jordan. Get ready for an exhilarating journey as we introduce you to some of our talented agents from all corners of the country, from the bustling streets of New York to the sunny beaches of California. These agents are ready to make your dreams come true. So sit back, relax, and meet the hosts in your city.
I'm Brandy Young, your host, Augusta, Georgia.
I'm Chris Eggert, your host, Silicon Valley.
Hi, I'm Esther Beatty, your host of Orange County, California.
Hi, I'm Robert Sims, your host of Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Trish McIntosh, your host, Virginia Beach, Coastal Virginia.
I'm Mark Bradford, your host of Selling Dallas.
I'm Melissa Sprouse-Brown, your host, Columbia, South Carolina.
I'm Gianni Saratani, your host for Canton, Georgia.
I'm Kirsten Childers, your host, Reno, Tahoe.
I'm Kevin Jeffries, your host, Coeur d'Alene.
Hey, I'm Julia Hurley, your host, Knoxville, Tennessee.
I'm LeRae Easterwood, your host, Selling Kansas City.
I'm Julie Jacobson, your host in Grand Junction, Colorado.
I'm Charlotte Ellis, your host, Salt Lake City.
I'm Elizabeth Martin, your host, Atlanta.
I'm Ashley Karn, your host, Phoenix, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Debbie Husher, and I'm your host in Central Connecticut.
I'm your host, Robin Tyra, Santa Fe.
I'm Melissa Cerna, your host, Dallas-Fort Worth.
I'm Tracy Williams, your host in Jacksonville, Florida.
I'm Millie Canada, your host, Bay Area, Coastal Wine Country.
Hi, I'm Lisa Johnson, your host in beautiful Boulder, Colorado.
I'm Lisa Dunn, your host, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
I'm Jennifer Jorgensen, your host, Selling, Utah.
I'm Anne-Marie Condemi, your host, Spartanburg, South Carolina.
This is your host, Jennifer Edson, for Traverse City, Michigan.
I'm Laura Goodwin, your host, Boca Raton. I'm Lori Wilson, your host in Huntington, West Virginia.
I'm Marceline Wurst, your host, Southwest Florida.
I'm Nieka Tapley, your host, Memphis.
Hi, I'm Melissa Jones, your host, Dallas.
I'm Rachel Tolger, your host for Boulder County, Colorado.
I'm Stacy Kartner, your host, Port St. Lucie, Florida.
I'm Teresa Slowey Whittam, your host, Selling Cleveland.
I'm Tina Marie, your host, Chicagoland Suburbs.
I'm Vanessa Paget, your host, Atlanta.
I'm Ellie George, your host, Southern Oregon.
I'm Mimi Beachy, your host, Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
I'm Sherilyn Whetstone, your host here in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
I'm Elisa Fitzpatrick, your host, Nashville.
I'm Bryn Lindekiegel, your host, Lake Oswego.
Hi, I'm Pat Fume, your host, Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Hi, I'm Karen Goins, your host of Selling Chicago's Northwest Suburbs.
Welcome to beautiful Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm your host, Jackie Fisher.
I'm Jennifer Jeffcoat, your host for Orlando.
I'm Lisa True, your host for Palm Beach County, Florida.
I am Kim Antonucci, your host for Syracuse, New York.
I'm Melissa Diaz, your host for El Paso, Texas.
I'm Erica Rucker, your host, Charlotte.
I'm LaTanya Martin, your host, Nashville, Tennessee.
I'm Kathy Lupke, your host, Napa Valley.
Hi, I'm Kathy Huang, your host in Orlando and the Space Coast.
I'm Amber Garofalo, your host, Twin Cities.
Welcome to the American Dream. I am Nisa Ho, your host in beautiful Boulder, Colorado.
Hi, I'm Christy Morick, your host, Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm Dave Simpson, your host, Port Huron, Michigan.
Hi, I'm Ned Lawhorn, your host, San Jose and Silicon Valley.
I'm your host, Roberta Borlevin, Abilene, Texas.
I'm Rachel Lee Lasik, your host,
Selling Pittsburgh.